All right, let's get into it.
Well, it's time for another podcast.
What it is.
Episode 50 that we have absolutely nothing special planned for.
We don't. I didn't even know it was episode 50 until you just said it.
Yeah.
Actually, until Justin said it.
We don't even have topics this time. We're totally winging it. Thanks for joining us.
I know. It's Friday again. And like Scott said, and probably Justin too, it's episode 50 of the Warfighter Tobacco Podcast. I'm John. That's Scott. Justin's the producer over there. Normally we bring you like knowledge and at least some new things or maybe a current event or two. I hate to say it, but nothing's changed in the world since the last time we sat down and did this.
It probably has. We just didn't pay attention.
Yeah, our little bubble is still safe. Actually, something has happened since the last time. A hurricane hit Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the largest hurricane on record to hit the armpit of Florida. Excuse me, that area of Florida. But no, it was a Category 4 when it hit land. I don't know the extent of damage.
All I heard was a lot of power outages.
A lot of power. There's like 6 million people without power. Good thing a humidor, most of them, unless it's one of those fancy electronic ones, don't need power.
It's true.
Yeah, I bet you it's a little humid down there right now.
Probably.
I think they were saying there's some spots that they were expecting like 12 to 14 inches of rain.
Yeah, that's a couple 100% above 100% humidity.
Yeah. It ran into Georgia as a Cat 1 hurricane. That's crazy. Because that's a trip. But yeah, that's nuts. But one of the, I mean, like I try to pay attention to most hurricanes that are coming through into the United States anyways. Just a lot of our logistics go through Florida. We live in Texas, and hurricanes hit both those places quite often.
I got a boy in Key West.
Right.
But I think he was pretty clear of this one.
Yeah. But no, I go on a trip soon, like tomorrow. And I have a layover in Orlando.
Oh.
So I was a little worried about this hurricane.
How long is your layover in Orlando?
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Okay.
So just long enough to like,
yeah.
Okay, I get some time if something happened, but not long enough if my flight gets canceled.
Yeah.
I'm just screwed.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't think I'm hoping, knock on wood, I don't think we're going to have any issues. I think everything kind of missed that area.
Yeah. Because you're flying south, right? More.
Yeah. But so this was more northwest than Orlando was. So by the time like Orlando was getting the bands, the eye of the storm was almost making landfall up north. So it worked out in my favor. Unfortunately, there's people that live in that area that it probably wasn't in their favor.
Yeah.
But it's not like we can just rig up a giant.
Have you ever been like in a hurricane?
Yeah, they're awesome.
I've never been. Like,
oh man, they're intense. I remember. So when I was a little kid, I was in a hurricane in Boston.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember that because when the eye came over, we actually went outside because
it was calm.
It was sunny out. Like there was no wind, no rain, no nothing. And, you know, where I lived, we were, 3 houses up from the water. So It was nice. It was cool. And, there's a 5-foot seawall. The water came over the seawall a little bit up the street. But I remember and I was probably young. I was probably like 3 or 4. But I remember like my dad taping all the windows up, and boarding up some stuff and, making sure there was nothing that could like blow away.
Right.
The whole neighborhood was doing it. It wasn't just my dad, but yeah. And then I remember going outside, walking the end of the street for that. And then it was hurry up, get back in the house. And then chaos hit again.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's fucking weird. I'm young. I don't know what's going on. And then I've been in the aftermath of some. Actually, I was in one in Florida as well as a teenager. And then I've been down to Florida for aftermaths, helping out for some of them.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting, like being in the hurricanes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how like living in the Midwest, right? A tornado comes through and everyone's like, oh, I hope it doesn't hit here.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a Cat 3 or Cat 4 hurricane, That's like a tornado is everywhere, nonstop. But you get 100+ mile an hour wind sustained. Right. You're just like, well, shit.
Yeah. I mean, usually like the widest tornado is going to get is what, a half mile wide, maybe
a mile,
I don't know.
But you know what?
But usually it's a couple 100 yards wide and you can see it from a mile or two away. And you can watch kind of where it's going. And, you can kind of, if you're
2.6 miles wide is the largest tornado ever recorded.
Okay.
In El Reno, Oklahoma, 2013. That's insane.
That is insane. 2 miles wide. That's big for a tornado. I think on average, though, they're probably maybe a quarter mile wide.
Is an EF3. Wait, hold on. Nope. Why is it giving me weird information?
It's the internet.
Right? Whatever. Either way.
Look at this. That looks pretty cool.
No, the smoke just going up the side of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really want to be in a hurricane, I guess, but
so they do these things, they call them hurricane parties. And essentially you stock up on food and booze.
Yeah.
And you party your ass off riding out the hurricane.
I mean, I guess it sounds fun until it's not, but
so I have a very unique opinion when it comes to hurricanes and people that live in areas that are affected by hurricanes consistently, and people that put Salt Life stickers on their vehicles. If you have a Salt Life sticker in your vehicle and you are evacuating, take that sticker off your vehicle. You are no longer authorized to wear any Salt Life apparel or have a Salt Life sticker on your vehicle.
So since we're talking about Salt Life stickers, the first time I seen one, I was in Nebraska.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure it said Slut Life.
Same.
Because I could not.
Well, I think we were
together. I'm like, what is that?
What? I'm like, speed up. What is that?
Like Slut Life.
Like, wow, okay. I guess it's a new thing. But like just that, for example, right? Like you have a Salt Life sticker and you live in Nebraska.
Yeah.
There's not much salt in Nebraska. I mean, I get the Salt Life in the roads for the winter.
Yeah.
Like I understand that actually makes maybe Salt Life started there.
Maybe
and gravitated towards the ocean.
Put the Salt Life with a little pothole bumper sticker, right? Like
just one of the big sanding trucks.
Yeah. They got to get one of the dirty hooker stickers instead. Those are always a hoot.
Right.
That's funny. No, but I mean, we can talk about evacuating during a hurricane real quick, because I was just hardcore talking shit about it. It's highly recommended.
Yeah.
If your state recommends you evacuate, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
don't hang out. There's a lot of stuff you can be like, oh no, I'm fine. I've been through storms before. Like, you know what? Just it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
There's ways to make sure if you're going to be okay. Like, you probably didn't do the homework. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever do storm chasing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I did in Nebraska.
Yeah.
We lived there.
Oh, really?
I mean, when you see one, you're driving, it's
if there was a good storm coming through Nebraska and it was daylight, I'd go drive around for hours.
Fuck yeah.
If it was at night,
yeah. But we would see like the actual storm chase vehicles all the time.
Yeah.
And some of the, like if I'm out running around and I see one of those guys, I'm following them.
100%.
Like I know where they're going. They have I literally have a weather app on my phone.
Right.
They have a radar on their truck. Yeah. I'm following that dude.
That was a great show.
Yeah.
The Storm Chaser show. They had like the big giant fucking tank and everything.
Did you guys see the new Twister?
I haven't.
I have not seen
it. It was decent.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
They got that on that Storm Chaser show. I did see one of the vehicles they modified it to make it tornado proof.
Yeah.
And they made these arms that like folded out and dug into the ground as like stabilizers. And I was just like, shit. They stepped their game up from back in the day where they're just like, hold on, Steve.
Well, I remember seeing one in Nebraska. It was like a black thing that had zero ground clearance.
Yeah.
Right? And it looked like a stealth bomber, but like as a vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah. And it would, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I know for a fact I've seen that one.
Yeah, I've seen that one in Nebraska too.
But yeah, that thing, it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
That's the same one, but that's from Arkansas.
That one looks a lot more homemade.
It was like, yeah, I got an MRAP too, bro. Come look at mine. It's like, no, you have a Suburban that you welded plates of metal onto. Yeah. No, storm chasing would be fun.
I don't know what the point of it would be for me because I'm not like a meteorologist or a scientist or a.
There's a lot of guys that do it that they do it as a job. You know, they'll travel around and they'll try to sell their footage, you know, to news channels and stuff like that. I mean, obviously there's got to be some money into it when you're driving around in $750,000 tornado chasing vehicles, you know. I don't know any philanthropists that'll be like, yeah, this is fun. You should try it. Here, use this truck instead.
It's the same philanthropist that went down on the submarine.
Oh my God. Did you guys see that picture
of them? I saw the video of them recovering pieces.
When they went down, so they took a video and they went down and they found the wreckage of that, whatever it was called. It was the Ocean Gate. Yeah, that's what it was. And Justin, can you pull that up for me if you can find it? Because there's a part of it. There's something in that image that absolutely blows my mind. Because this is at the depth, very close to where the Titanic is.
Right.
Right? Is this the beginning? No, this is, I need the video of when they just found it. No, this one right here. Yep. That one.
Keep your browsing to yourself.
My bad.
Oh, you're good. Because so in this, like the video that I saw is when they first saw it. And I think this is it when they're coming up to it, right? And it's like half of the sub is like sticking up out of the bottom of the ocean. It almost looks like a broken half, right? And there's wreckage, just debris all over the place. But when they get to the pieces that are together, that are upright, there's something on it, right? Because right here at this depth, you're at 3,774 meters. So you're over 10,000 feet deep. A human can't be down here doing this, right? It's not like I can go scuba dive here and do something. It all has to be mechanical, you know, or like robots, unmanned, whatever. I mean, it could be manned, just not with what they did.
Yeah.
But if you fast forward a little bit, they're going to show like the fuselage, like the outside of it at some point.
Anyway, while we're doing this, did you find
this one right
okay,
here?
there it is.
Oh, fuck. But it's 11 and a half minutes.
I'll search through it.
So I need that thumbnail is what I need.
Oh, this guy right here?
That right there. Okay. Now watch. Okay. Right here are two clips. Okay. And then right here on the side is a ratchet. That's a fucking ratchet strap.
Yes.
Oh my.
Why is there a ratchet strap going around the hull of a submarine that's going to go down to the fucking Titanic?
That is a great question. Well, they kept it together. The ratchet strap's the only thing that didn't fail. I'm going to point that out to you, John.
I want to know what brand those ratchet straps are.
Right here, right there. It has the name and the ratchet right on the video. If you keep playing, it'll go and it'll pan to the right side.
That's insane.
That's a fucking ratchet strap. That it's like what? What? Imagine you're on a dock. You're about to get in the sub to go see the Titanic. And you're like, hey, you guys know you got a ratchet strap right there, right? Like, yeah, it's supposed to be there. It's structural. What?
Jeez.
Yeah. Not a great way to die.
They didn't know.
Yeah.
That was instant.
It was like a fraction of a second, right? When it finally went.
It had to be.
It was so when that water came in, it was lights out.
Yeah. Because it wasn't even, they didn't drown, right? They were like crushed.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Imploded.
Fuck. I mean, that's way better than drowning.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just.
Even drowning. Like, I mean, obviously, I don't have firsthand experience, but it can't be that bad.
You've never drowned underwater? Like in. Like somebody helped you?
No.
Oh, you just white out.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's just,
Yeah.
and it's one breath. It's not like you're fighting for it.
Yeah.
Like you got 20 seconds leading up to it of panic, and then
Yeah.
it's just like, that's it. I heard it's pretty peaceful.
Scott, are you speaking from experience?
No, when I was in the aviation unit, I was talking to a lot of guys that would go to 160th and they drowned everybody.
Really?
And so in their green team or whatever school they go to. And so I asked all those questions.
Yeah.
That's same, like Army Scuba School, same thing. I'm assuming same, and any spec op water training type deal. It's kind of like choking somebody out and grappling. Like there's ways to bring you back.
Yeah,
it's pretty like almost automatic, not really automatic, but like it's fairly safe to an extent.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, I mean that's why there's lifeguards everywhere, and they're not like highly trained people. It's like here's CPR mouth to mouth.
Yeah,
that's really all you need. You know?
Once he goes limp, go ahead and pull him up.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather get in a storm. Yeah, I'd 100% rather get in a storm chasing vehicle than the submarine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, right?
I would get in one of those submarines. If it was just to go like 20 feet under, you know what I mean? Like I would do that, right? To go like look around and be in a little submarine, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
To go do that, no.
I wouldn't get
no, mister, no.
Even if it was 20 feet, as soon as I got in and saw the fucking Nintendo controller, I'd be like, keep my money. I want out.
I thought it was an Xbox.
But you've seen the submarines that you can get in where it's like open on the bottom?
Yeah.
Like that looks kind of cool.
Yeah, they're just positive pressure. Yeah.
Oh, we need to. I stumbled across this guy on. It was
Johnny Depp did it, Pirates of the Caribbean, with the rowboat.
Okay.
They held it upside down. They walked across the bottom of the ocean. I mean, physically, you can't do that. Physics says, no, that's not how this works.
Right.
But that's what Scott was talking about.
John, that was such a good pull. You said Pirates of the Caribbean. I was like, is he talking about the ghost ship that like?
No, the rowboat.
Yeah.
They're walking on the bottom. Everyone knows that scene. It's awesome.
It is.
Because even when I first saw that, I'm like, that you can't do that.
You would float with the boat.
No, but there was a dude who same thing. He built his own submarine, but he did it on like YouTube or something.
Yeah.
I was like, we should reach out to him.
But no, this is really funny too, though, because like you can build your own airplane and go fly. Nobody gives two fucks.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you can, but there are some fucks that are given, and you have to meet requirements. And
no, it's experimental.
Yeah, you still have to meet some requirements.
Well, you can build it without an issue, right? It's once you want to fly it, that's when.
Well, it depends what you're building, but yeah.
If you build your own aircraft and you take off and land in your own private airspace, your own runway,
I suppose.
I don't
guess
think
I don't.
anybody's.
I don't.
You know, just like if you build your own sub and you go take it in the ocean, you want to go dive, nobody's going to be like, hey, you can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't build one and sell it and have somebody else do that.
Right.
Then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Right. Aircraft, sub, doesn't matter at that point. Vehicle, that's all regulated. But you can build your own. You can own a helicopter, your own aircraft, your own sub. Now, I know my skills on building things. And I know the difference between the air and the water.
I would much rather build an airplane.
All day, every day. All day. Helicopter. I'll build a helicopter out of popsicle sticks and rubber bands and get in that bitch. But you're not going to catch me building a submarine out of the same. No. Like I can understand how to make things go airborne.
Yeah.
Better than I can how things react under pressure. Now, what I mean by pressure is once you get to roughly 100 feet, you're at like 4 times the atmospheric pressure you are standing here on the Earth and sea level.
And it's not a constant scale where so if you go 200 or 8 times, it's much more rapid, right?
Well,
once you get past 100, the pressure goes way up.
Let me see if I can pull up there's a formula. But let me see if I can pull up like a graph.
Yeah. We should talk a little bit about cigars. I'm smoking a 50 Garrison today.
I'm smoking a 556 Garrison Corojo. And I haven't had one of these in like 3 weeks.
I haven't had one of these in like 3 weeks.
So nice. Yeah. It is so nice. Yeah. So, I mean, it's so overly complicated when it comes to this shit, though.
Yeah.
I just wish there was like
I said,
here we go.
I would get in a submarine that would, like, if something happened, I could just swim to the top and be like, oh, that sucked. You know, but yeah.
Like, at least I'm still alive though.
Yeah. You know, like I'm good. I think at the bottom of a 20-foot pool, I could get to the surface and still be alive.
Yeah.
You know, any deeper than that, it might get a little hairy.
That's true. Yeah. that is one of those feelings when like you're underwater and like you feel you're like coming up and you're like, ooh.
Like you watch those free divers go way down there. I'm like, I don't know if I could start where they went to.
Yeah.
And,
at that depth.
And just go to the top and make it.
Yeah. And they'll do it. Everything's so smooth, which makes sense. Like you have to do it smooth to retain the oxygen and everything. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know if I could separate the two. Like, I think I'd be like, I'm blowing my wad right at the top and just fucking sending it. Have y'all seen the paramotors? They're like backpack.
Yeah, I love them. I actually want one.
They look so cool, but it's another one of those things where I'm like,
Did you see the guy? I saw a dude flying a paramotor over a container ship. And as he like crested the edge of it, like he was pretty low to it, right? But as he crested like the edge of it, the wind fucking shifted and it almost collapsed and he almost landed on the fucking on the container ship.
Man.
It's a cool video though. He recovers it.
Okay, so I found something that gives a little bit of reference.
Okay.
But not like it doesn't just, have a list of like whatever. But so at sea level, you're at 1 atmospheric pressure.
Makes sense.
Or 1 atmosphere of pressure. The top of Mount Everest is 0.333 atmosphere pressure.
Okay.
The higher you go, the less pressure you get. The hard vacuum out of space, 0.
Okay.
You have no pressure whatsoever.
Right.
Sea level's 1. 10 meters in depth of seawater, so 33 feet, you're at 2 atmospheric pressures. At 66 feet, you're at 3 atmospheric pressures. The recreational dive limit, right, which is 130 feet, 40 meters, is 5 atmospheric pressures, right? Tech diving depth, like 300 something feet, 100 meters, you're at 11 atmospheric pressure.
Wow.
Okay. The maximum ambient pressure a human has survived is 54 atmospheric pressures.
Wow.
At 1 kilometer of depth in seawater, 1,000 meters deep, it's 101 atmospheric pressures. And the deepest part of the Earth's oceans is 1,100.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
1,100. Like, I can't. If humans die after 54,
right?
So you got to think where they're at. That's not clearly not the deepest part of the the Earth's ocean. But they're over 10,000 feet deep.
Yeah,
they're close to 2 miles, maybe more. That's insane. That's a lot of pressure. It's a lot.
Yeah. Sea levels where I like even 2 miles up, I'll pass on.
What do you say, 2 miles up?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go play with pressures here next week.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's why you can't fly right after you dive.
Right.
Because everything's pressurized in your body.
Yeah.
You have to let everything off gas or else it just gets released in your bloodstream and then you have an aneurysm or all that fun stuff.
So do you know how deep you're going to be going? It's probably not that deep where you're going, is it?
I don't like... I like going deep. But I don't like going deep.
The more deep doesn't make it more fun, right?
100 feet is the same as 50 feet.
Yeah.
Like, each dive site's going to be different,
Right.
Because this reef might not be at 50 feet. It might be at 100 feet.
Right.
You know, or it might have a wall, and at the bottom of the wall is where whatever is, you know. To me, depth's immaterial. I would much rather dive at 40 feet.
Yeah.
Because I have so much more time because I go through gas way slower.
Yeah.
But at depth, you only have like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And you blow through your tank because of the pressure, because everything is different.
Right.
The deeper you go, the faster you go through gas.
You ever watch that show with Josh Gates? I can't remember. It's like, but he goes and does all this history stuff, and like he's an explorer and goes and finds all this shit. But he goes and he does a lot of diving.
Okay.
Expedition Unknown.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen a couple of those. Yeah,
It's a great series.
Yeah.
Just watch him, because like he'll go and dive plane wrecks and shipwrecks, and and he goes to different depths where he's like, oh, we only got like 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's it.
Like
because of the depth. Yeah.
But he's gone through some ships. He went through this Russian battleship.
Yeah.
That still had all the torpedoes in it and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was cool as shit. Yeah.
That's like, I want to go to the Pacific so bad,
Yeah.
just to go dive all the World War II stuff
Right.
that's down there, because a lot of that stuff is not deep at all.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
you're 20 feet,
Yeah.
if that. Sometimes they're perched above the water.
Yeah.
That would be cool as shit.
Right.
But yeah, all that stuff's starting to degrade.
Mm-hmm.
Just time, salt.
Yeah, he's finding like World War II plane crashes, and there's like just the skeleton.
That's it. Everything else is
the plane left.
The good thing, I know it sounds counterproductive, but all of those things, whether they're ships or boats, planes, whatever it is, they end up turning into an artificial reef.
Yeah.
The right way to do it is you remove all contaminants out of the vessel before you sink it.
Right.
But during wartime, you don't really have the yeah.
But yeah, it amazes me. Like, and then he went up to the Great Lakes, and
There's so many up there.
all the wrecks up there, though, they're all perfect condition because it's freshwater.
Yep, and it's so cold.
And it's so cold.
Yep. So that's why I will never dive up there unless I'm in a dry suit.
Yeah.
Yep. I need like my winter ski snowboard apparel underneath my dry suit,
Right.
to go dive up there, like the Stay Puft Marshmallow.
But it's cool. He always dives with masks that
You can talk.
Yeah, he can
Yep.
talk and do the show. And,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of neat. I love his shows.
Yeah. And that's another reason why like their times are so small. When you run those full face, they're positive pressure masks. So you just have positive air flowing all the time.
Right.
And so you drastically decrease your amount of bottom time because you're just blowing through gas. Some of them you can tune that work better.
Yeah.
But especially like if you have a beard, it just leaks out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we'll be going. I mean, we'll probably hit 100 feet at some point.
Yeah.
But my sweet spot's 30 to 60.
Yeah.
If we go below 60, it's got to be for a good fucking reason. Just because it affects so much.
Yeah.
You go through gas so much faster, so you dive shorter. You have the longer you spend at depth, the closer you get to a deco dive instead of a no deco. And we only do no deco dives.
Yeah.
Meaning we don't play around with the chance of getting anything going wrong or decompression sickness or anything like that. We plan out our dives. We only go so deep for so long. We come back up, do our safety stops. Mandatory surface interval is depending on how low we go, so we can do another follow-on dive.
Yeah.
The deeper you go, the longer that surface interval needs to be before your next dive.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if you do too many too deep, then that's it. You're done. You have to off gas. You get too much shit in your body.
Yeah.
I mean, it's few and far between. Typically, if you're going to go deep, you do that in your first dive of the day. The rest of your dives, you don't break 60 and everything's totally fine. But yeah, and then you got these tech diver guys that go, 300 feet.
Yeah.
And they're breathing trimix and they got 14 tanks with them, and their dive going down is only 30, 40, 50 minutes, an hour long. And then it takes them 8 hours to get back to the surface and all their decompression stuff.
That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah. Nope.
John, do you know how complicated it gets with the underwater, like the scuba welder guys?
What do you mean?
Like, is it like
it's probably less complicated because they're in a suit where it's tubed.
So
that's
they have two different types. I'm not extremely familiar with that side of diving. I've never done it. I never went to school for it or anything like that.
But I don't.
But so typically there's two different types that they do. They do, there's stuff that you see like a guy that's like welding on an oil rig, right? And he's in a bell helmet and a full, suit. Got stuff clipped everywhere and, spare everything. But he's got all these cables and all the shit coming off him going up to the surface. So most of those guys are always going to be rigged in that aspect. But then you have your surface diving type stuff. And then you have what's called saturated diving. Saturated diving is they drop you off at like 300 feet and you live there for a month. And you live in this little bell that they sunk. And that's where all your communications and all your air and everything, and then you run those cords out of the bottom of that. And it's just literally a hole in the bottom. And it's just pressurized on the inside. But they're breathing like helium for a month. So if you ever get to tune into the audio, everyone talks like they just sucked in a helium balloon, So it's pretty, like, I think that would be fun.
But if
I could do it for like 2 days, you know what I mean?
If you're fed oxygen from the surface, does your depth matter yet? I think that would almost negate it to some extent.
But it just gets very complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I did just watch Men of Honor, and I can't remember.
With Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Yeah.
The
scuba one.
Yeah.
Is that who that?
Yeah. The black dude.
Don't do this to me. But yeah. I just don't know my actors. But
I'm 90% sure that's a
you are
name.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know like 5 actors. He's one of them.
That's a great movie.
It really is.
He plays Carl Brashear.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's based on a true story, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is on my list of movies to watch.
You haven't seen
Oh my God.
I know I'm a piece of shit.
No, you're gonna thank us.
Yeah.
I don't care how long it takes you to watch it. Once you do, you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have waited.
Oh,
Literally.
really?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's on my list.
And then what's the there's a Coast Guard one where he's the rescue swimmer with Kevin Costner.
I want to say The Recruit, but that's not it. It's
that's another good one.
that's a good one too.
The Guardian.
Yeah.
The Guardian. That's yeah.
Put that.
That's one of those ones where like there's a lot of movies I'll watch. That's one of those ones where I'm like,
I watched it for the second time like last week.
I've only seen it once.
Yeah, it's
because it's like I just like I'm not emotionally ready to watch that.
yeah. You're right. It's but that's
it gets you in the feels.
It does, but that's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a personal mission where I just avoid sad movies.
Well, this one's sad, but it's a great.
It's sad in a good way.
Yeah.
It is.
Scott's doing a great job of not selling me this movie.
No, it's like oh, what the fuck? It's about the Yarnell Hill fire.
Oh, the
Only the brave? Yes, Only the Brave. That's another one that is an amazing movie, but it's going to get you in the feels.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't know the story.
yeah.
And even if you know it, they do a really, really, really good job at portraying it.
I've seen a bunch of clips for this movie and it looks really good.
The Only the Brave?
Yeah, because it's got Miles Teller in it.
Oh,
Is like yeah.
So if I remember right, so he plays a dude that lived. And which it's a crazy story. It's 100% true story. But that's another one that I'd absolutely recommend watching.
But it looks really good.
Yep. Yeah.
When is 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on your Sunday of doing nothing.
Yeah.
Here's your list of movies.
Fuck yeah. I'm game for that.
We should do that. We should do like a whole different show. And it's just like
movie reviews.
Yeah. If you were born after 1995,
yeah,
here's a mandatory watch list.
I'd take it. I'm weird. I always gravitate towards TV shows over movies.
You know why? Because movies today suck.
They do.
Balls.
You're not wrong.
Movies,
not wrong.
I think it ended in like 2015.
So
with the good movies,
right? It's because movies you used to be able to get like what we get today out of a 10 series season.
Yeah,
would be 1 hour and a half movie.
Yeah.
It was just like start to finish, just fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And now you get a movie and it's just like you could have cut these 45 minutes out.
Yeah.
Or it's a remake.
Or you have a 10 series TV show.
Yeah.
And 6 of those are just fucking filler episodes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like you didn't need to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
But I feel like one of my favorite series in the world is The Office. And they have a shit ton of those filler episodes.
Yeah.
But at least they were filler episodes, but they still like put effort into the writing. Where it's still funny.
But then look at like Game of Thrones.
That is also true. Yeah. Game of Thrones, it's hard to keep up with. Like we would.
Yeah, there's a lot of story going on.
I watched it after it was like as the last season was coming out.
Yeah.
And we would literally go from one season to the next and we'd have to look up like a recap.
Right.
Before the next season to be like, all right, what happened? What did we just
and imagine
watch?
if you had to wait like 6 months.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Like,
yeah. No, I was reading something about that. I can't remember what it was in regards to Black Mirror. You guys ever watch Black Mirror?
Yeah.
I've seen a couple episodes. Yeah.
So there's a rumor going around that Black Mirror is banned in the US. And I'm like, no fucking way. I'm like, why? Because it's too real. You know what I mean? Like they got some episodes where you're like, fuck, like the government's doing that now. You know what I mean? But so Black Mirror started in the UK.
Okay.
And they did 2 seasons in the UK before it got brought over to the US. In the UK TV series, a season is only 3 or 4 episodes.
Really?
That's it.
Really?
3 or 4 episodes, whole season's done. Now you got to wait a year for the next one. In the States, they film with just bullshit just to get people to watch longer because it's the same. They do it with everything that Americans consume. How do we get them to do it more? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I would be upset if it was a 3-show season.
Well, if that's all you knew, though.
I was about to say, I feel like it'd be like if movies in the UK were only 30 minutes.
It'd be like, you know, when you watch
and then
like
you're like, I just watched a TV show, not a movie. I think that was an episode.
it would be like Tiger King.
Oh.
That was a very limited series. I think there was only like 4 or 5 episodes.
Oh, I think there's more.
I think there's only 4 or 5 episodes, and then they did like 2 seasons.
Yeah, but the season
they did
2, nobody gave a fuck about season 2.
Because that was him in jail, so there wasn't nearly as much.
That bitch, Carol Baskin. But yeah, you know, like some of these like really popular shows that are, they're a multi-series or whatever they want to call them, but they're only like 3 to 5 episodes, and that's just a normal,
You know what? One of the longest running TV shows that I still watch is
Simpsons
NCIS.
Deadliest Catch.
Oh,
yeah, that's a good one.
And it's on season 20. Like it's their kids running these boats.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy.
That's one of those shows though where it's like, don't ever change the format of this.
No, please.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just people almost dying and crazy shit happening.
An army buddy of ours, Luke, in Alaska, his wife filmed for the Discovery Channel for some of those shows. On those boats in the helicopters with the Coast Guard, the whole 9. Oh yeah.
Sweet.
I've heard some awesome stories from her about some of the stuff that they've done, because she'll like get in one of the Coast Guard choppers and fly with them and film.
That's awesome.
And they're doing like legit rescue missions, and she's just holy fuck, with a camera. Like, yeah, that'd be cool as shit. Yeah.
So Tiger King had season 1 was 8 episodes.
Okay.
Season 2 had 5 episodes, but I feel like nowadays even 8 episodes still on the low end.
Well, like SEAL Team is 10.
Yeah. Most of it's 10. Most of
10.
That's true. Honestly, I feel like that when they originally shot this, I feel like they were like, if we can get 3 to 5 seasons, we'll be good. And then they started filming. They're like, we got
one.
More.
We got one chance to win over the world.
Fuck. That was
a good job.
I think that is probably the last show that captivated everybody.
It's because of COVID.
Yeah.
If it came out outside of COVID, I don't think it had the same impact.
I don't know about that. I feel like that it was just so crazy that because I remember seeing. I was a late adopter to Tiger King.
Yeah.
I was like, this looks stupid, and then
It did.
clips.
I was the same way. I thought it looked stupid.
Clips started coming out, and I was like, this has got to be like, is this like an SNL skit or something? And then I watched and was like, okay, I get the hype now.
Yeah.
But I feel like they got there and started filming, and they were like, oh wow, all right, get everything.
So there's the same producer did one, Chimp Crazy or something.
Oh, I think I've heard.
I just watched it. It wasn't as good as Tiger King, but it was.
Is that
crazy ladies and their chimpanzees?
Oh,
yeah.
All right, that has my attention.
Yeah. Fuck a chimpanzee once it turns 5.
Oh, 100%.
Then it wants to kill you.
Yeah. And if it doesn't right now, give it a little bit. Like that's one of those. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out where Joe Exotic is.
He's in jail.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find out where.
Isn't it? I think it's in Texas.
For a minute, he was in DFW.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get him to come on the show, but I got no response.
He did Drinking Bros.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was on Drinking Bros.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he just called in?
Yeah.
Fucking A.
I would love to go do
An in-person interview would be sick.
It'd be amazing because it would be like a microphone against the
The
phone, the camera on the glass.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Well, we talked movies today
Yeah.
and TV shows.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not sorry.
I do agree. I feel like a list of movies is needed nowadays.
Yeah.
Like shit, we could do reviews of military movies. Make it a new segment.
Yeah. There's some good ones out there.
There are some good ones.
Yeah. I rewatched part of Midway the other day. That's
a good one too. What's the one with Tom Hanks and he's leading the fleet across the Atlantic?
Greyhound.
Greyhound. That's fucking another great one. That's on Apple.
Yeah. That's relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
Oh, that sucks. He was initially sentenced. This is Joe Exotic from Tiger King. He was initially sentenced to 22 years in prison on January 22nd, 2020. It was sent to Federal Medical Center in Fort Worth, Texas. But he was resentenced in January 2022 to 21 years. They took 1 year off.
Okay.
Currently scheduled for release sometime in 2035. And he's still in Fort Worth.
I can't wait for him to go on that media tour when he finally gets out.
He's got cancer. I think he's.
Oh, this is awesome. Did Joe Exotic run for president? The answer is yup, and not just once. During the 2016 presidential election, Maldonado ran as an independent candidate according to the Federal Election Commission, and he got on the Colorado ballot and received 962 votes nationwide.
That's amazing.
He would have got more, but nobody wanted to vote for Hillary, so they all voted for Trump.
That's true, yeah. Pick the wrong year.
Yeah, right. Imagine if he did it now.
He wouldn't go anywhere.
I'd fucking vote for him.
Yeah.
A hard no from this guy.
Be like, fuck it.
It can't be any worse.
You're not wrong.
At least it would be comical. Now it's not comical. Now it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, if you think we get sound bites out of Trump, boy, let me tell you.
I will never financially recover from this.
He'd be a part of the presidential mugshot club.
True, yeah.
Oh, God. Because I know all the sound bites that came out of Tiger King.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine 4 years as a president.
Oh, it'd be a meme factory. Then we'd have to look at other countries and be like, all right, now we get why you're making fun of us. Yeah.
No, that's when it's just like, you really want to poke that bear? You really? Good luck.
He would definitely establish a new branch that's just like tiger trainers. Get rid of canines and just bring in tigers.
That's funny.
All right, let's put a bow on this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry that we didn't. If you were expecting cigar or military anything out of this episode,
well, there's a couple military movies.
Yeah. And they stand up. You got to watch them if you haven't seen them.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen them, and you were born after 1995,
just bear with us. We'll put a list together eventually.
We'll get a list together.
Drop a comment with your favorite military movie.
Yeah, or just a must-watch movie.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do military movie because we've talked about all those.
Yeah.
That horse has been beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, favorite movie. What movie would you have your younger self watch?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Put it in the comments. We'll think about it.
Yeah.
Put it in the comments, and maybe we'll try to remember next time, and we'll chime back in on this. Okay.
Boondock Saints is definitely on that list.
So I made my younger self watch that, so I know how I turned out. I'd watched it twice. Yeah. So thanks for listening, guys. Sorry, we just bullshitted this episode.
Yeah.
It was a bullshitting kind of day. But yeah, go to warfightertobacco.com for all your smoky treat needs.
Subscribe wherever you're listening.
All that fun stuff. Oh, and if you're on Rumble, go over on Rumble. We just started a Rumble page. I don't know how to use it yet, but we're going to be posting all of our media on there as well. And they can't ban us.
Sweet.
So that's the cool part.
All right.
Is we can talk about cigars and we can post cigar videos and all this stuff, and they can't shadow ban us.
Nice.
Or restrict us or delete our account 15 times like TikTok did. So go follow us in Rumble. As we figure out how to use it, we'll be putting all the fun stuff up on there too. And we'll see you guys next Friday.
Yeah.
I'd cheers you, but I didn't even open this yet.
Yeah.
So cheers.
Cheers.
See you guys later.